Hey guys, Jess with Nativity Wreath. We're back to finish our blue and silver nativity wreath. Grabbing my glue pot real quick. And we are ready to go. So the way that I always organize my stuff is I will put one layer here, and then I put one layer in this box here, so that way I don't have to do any mathing while I'm making my wreath. I can just have it all figured out ahead of time, and then when it's time to go, it's time to go. So let's just stick this in here. And then we are going to be adding in these silver bells, which you can tie in if you want to. I don't feel that that's necessary because I do use Gorilla Glue hot glue and nice and secure. And I think that this looks really pretty with the glitter on that top pine cone. It just, I don't know, I love it. I love that little bit of sparkle and also the natural details too. All right, so then we're gonna be putting some greenery in. We have these ones here, and then we have these ones here. They both came on the same greenery bush. They have a little bit of sparkle to them. They came from, I believe, Michael's or Joann's last year when it was closing. Sad. Still feeling that one. It's sad to me when stuff closes like that, but I mean, I was part of the problem, right? I shop online too, so. All right, we're just lifting that sign up a little bit and then laying it back down. We're gonna be adding greenery in this top one too, underneath the silver pine cone. So I always add in my main embellishments first, and then I add the greenery. And the reason I do that is because I don't want the embellishment that tends to be a little bit heavy to be only pulling on the greenery. I don't want it to be like if I put this pine cone down, instead of putting it on the mesh itself, if I put it on the greenery, then it would just be pulling on that greenery. So if that greenery fell off for some reason, we'd have some problems. So I don't want to have to think about that. So once I make a wreath, I want to think that it's going to stay nice and secure. I don't want to have to think about, if it's gonna come apart in somebody's door. And no, thank you. All right, so I got one more, and I'm going to be putting it, I was gonna put it there. I'm not going to, I might come back through and put some around. I don't think I do. Ooh, that looks good. Do I have another one like that? Okay, I have this one here, so we can put one on each side. I think that'll look good. All right, so I'm doing that. Sometimes, you just kind of gotta go with the flow sometimes. If you think that there's like a little bit of a space in your wreath, add some stuff in there, That's the one thing about these greenery wreaths is that the ties, on a Dollar Tree frame, you have, the welds, so you know that everything is equally spaced out because the frame, it has the welds in the same spots every time. With these greenery wreaths, you just tie the mesh in and try to make it even, but it might not always be even, so you can move it over if you need to. All right, so I'm adding in all these pieces of greenery have pine cones attached. I just think it looks really nice and it helps bring out the rustic. So I have actually, I'll be putting two different alternating ones of these. And then these ones have all pine cones on them too. They have a slight sparkle to them. Oh, I dropped one. Ooh. At least I heard it this time. Sometimes I don't hear them when they drop, and then I'm starting to question my math abilities. So we're just dipping it. Instead of using a glue stick, I use a glue pot, and I just like that better. All right, we have this type of one too, which is really pretty. It looks like it has some berries on it, or some new growth, I should say. What are those called? Buds? Buds, not berries. And I'm just setting these ones on top of the ribbon. Sometimes when I'm adding, like if I was gonna come back through with ornaments, I might add that greenery underneath the ribbon, but it's not what we're doing today. I don't think this one really needs ornaments or extra bells around the outside because the greenery that we're using has pine cones on it. So I don't feel like it's necessary to add in anything, because you wouldn't want to add anything on top of the pine cone, and I want to use pine cones in this design. So, all right, so we're just lifting up those bow tails. I'm trying to keep track of what greenery I'm putting in. This wreath is a glittery wreath. I keep itched my face a time or two. I'm sure that when I go upstairs, I'm gonna see that I got some glitter going on. But like I said, each one of these greenery picks has a pine cone attached, so it brings out that rustic look. And you know, a lot of times you display a wreath outside, and it just helps tie in like the natural feels of outside too. So I'm just dipping it in my glue pot, making sure that I don't have any glue dripping off of my greenery, because we wouldn't want that to get on our ribbons or our wreath or anything like that, except where we want it to be. I love adding in different types of greenery. It helps to give it more of a natural feel. And that's one of the good things that about buying like you know, they're called greenery bushes. So instead of like, so this would be considered a pick. If you could just go to the store and buy like this, right? Or maybe there's like 3 on there, and that would be considered a pick. When I talk about a bush, it's something that usually costs, you know, maybe a little more. So maybe at Hobby Lobby, it'll be like $10 or $15, but there'll be lots of picks that you could pull off of there. So, all right. So yeah, just some technical terms in case you didn't know what I was talking about. Now you do. We're just making sure that we push it far enough into the wreath so it's not gonna fall out. And then this is our last one that we need to add in, and then we're done. So this wreath is nice and big and full. You can still see a little bit of the pine base. We made sure that we left some of that out so that it helps to add to the wreath, because we are going, you know, with natural feels too. And we're done. So this will be listed over in my Etsy shop at Etsy.com/shop/peekaboo wreaths, or you could just go to Etsy and search for peekaboo wreaths, and we're done. So this will be listed in a few minutes over on my Etsy shop. I always make sure that I add the embellishments underneath the bow tails, even though you can't really see them. There we go. It's all done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.